Robert Fritz, in his book, The Path of Least Resistance, says that if someone had told you 25 years ago that somebody in the future from the American ghetto, the culturally deprived, the undereducated children of welfare would rise up, not in violence, but in art, producing graffiti murals, in dance, creating breakdancing, and in poetry, creating rap, you would have asked that that person be examined immediately. These creative changes turned the children of welfare into millionaires, artists, dancers, musicians. We've been led to believe that the circumstances of our lives determine our ability to express ourselves, that for us to explore new dimensions of our being, our conditions need to be favorable. Well, if that were true, how could such creativity, originality, and vitality come out of such humble and adverse beginnings, such as the welfare children of the American ghetto? I mean, stop to think of it. The ghetto back then was thought of drug-infested. Most of the police didn't even go after criminals in the ghetto because they figured, you know what? If they eliminate themselves, it'll just make our life a lot easier. We won't even go there. This wasn't a public practice, and it wasn't spoken or written about. It was a reality of the time. The ghetto was a forgotten area because we didn't live there. Other people did. And to think that it went from burning down Los Angeles and riots in Motor City to this kind of creativity, where now for the first time that energy is turned into something creative that produces incredible success for the people of the ghetto. That's what I'm talking about, the miracle of success, dealing with problems. See, when they were rioting, they were dealing with problems. They wanted to confront the fact that their needs weren't getting met. They had let things get to the point where they were dealing with the negative. Everything had gone beyond their comfort zone. Now, in this kind of rebellion, they turn to the creative, the positive, and look at what it has produced. When I first heard rap, I said, my God, do they really expect this to sell? Boy, was I wrong. Now they even include it in regular songs. They have the mixture of rap and singing. It's become part of our American culture, like jazz or everything else. That's very Americana. And thank goodness for the process. Process of creating is not generated by the circumstances in which you find yourself, but the creative process itself. As you begin to consider what you want to create in your life, it is good for you to know that the circumstances that presently exist are not the determining factor of the results you desire to create. And here we go back to the ghetto again. It just wasn't a nurturing environment. You would never think that creativity to that level of success would come about in that kind of an environment. So the environment had nothing to do with the creative process. It didn't stop it in any way. It didn't alter it in any way. The creative process was so strong and so positive and so wonderful that it didn't matter what soil it grew in. It was growing anyway. Almost all of our life's desires can be the subject of the creative process. Everything we do can be part of the creative process. We all think of creativity being, gee, we can paint or we can design a song or invent a product. No, every part of our lives could be part of the creative process. Psychologist Carl Rogers writes, the action of the child inventing a new game with his playmate, Einstein formulating a theory of relativity, the housewife devising a new cooking sauce, a young author writing his first novel, all of these are creative. and there is no way to even attempt to set them in order of more or less creative. They're all just simply wonderfully creative. Conceive of the result you want to create, and keep in mind that creators start at the end. First, they have an idea of what they want to create, and then they work towards it. But they start at the end, not at the beginning. You have to know what currently exists. Because if you don't know what you had created so far, it would be impossible for you to add to it to get to the finale, which is your creation. And then you have to take action. Once you know what you want and know what you currently have, you can take action. The action you choose may work or may not work. It's not important. Understand that all actions, whether they work or not, help create the final result. If they don't happen, you're not going to get the result. The result is a compilation of what worked and didn't work because it's all interconnected. It's all a learning process. One can't be born without the other. The stock and trade of a creator are the abilities to experiment and to evaluate one's experiments. Learn the rhythm of the creative process. The three distinct phases of the creative process are germination, assimilation, and completion. Germination begins with the excitement and newness of the idea. Assimilation is a phase where the thrill is gone. It moves you from a focus of internal actions to a focus of external actions. You take that process now, you have to make it happen. And a lot of things are not going to happen in your mind anymore. You have to now materialize them or make them happen. So the process now moves from inside your mind, that vision, to making it a reality. Putting together the things that you need to do to make it happen. And the completion is the phase you not only bring everything to a final completion, but also position yourself for the next creation. And as you get better at it, you will naturally increase your ability to envision what you want and your ability to bring those results into being. So we have to make mistakes. There's things that are going to, frankly, it's not, I take that back. Because something didn't work, it wasn't a mistake. It's all part of the creative process. It should have happened. It will happen. And it is good that it happened because it's going to get you where you want to go. And once you get comfortable with the creative process, you then can wear it and use it in all phases of your life. But if you're uncomfortable and not used to wearing it, if you're a problem solver, that's dealing with the negative all the time. So when you're problem solving, you're in the negative. When you get into the creative process, you're in the positive. Never give up. Your life will change dramatically